Welcome to Church of the Chair, where we celebrate all the things we do while seated. I'm your host, D, here today with my co-host, Chad Lutzke, and we are working on a collaborative novel. Uh, Today, I don't know what the game plan is because I was rambling off about this new book. Well, not new book, but this book I just finished. So, how you want to handle today, Chad?
I don't care. You can
Okay.
share your screen. I'll share mine. Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna do the same thing I was doing yesterday and just start
Okay.
going over while maybe you're adding stuff, but whatever
Gotcha.
doesn't matter to
Wonder
me.
Viking. I'm probably going to go back and read from the beginning all the way down to where I stopped and kind of get back into it because I'm working on another project uh, at the moment too. So I literally have to come back in here and remind myself what we're doing every single morning because I close off my day writing the other project.
Okay.
So that's what I'll do. I will just to get everybody caught up to where we're at. I will share my screen to begin with, at least as I'm reading through what's going on. I might read some stuff out loud, so if you want to mute me, Chad, go ahead. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go through. I know you're still working on it. You're gonna be working on it as we're going
Oh,
along, but I
shoot.
will at least get some of the stuff.
Sorry. Hang on a second. I didn't
Oh,
know. I didn't know he was in here.
it's a ferret. Sorry. I I want to boot the snoot. I want to boot the snoot.
Started hearing something crawling around the floor. I'm like, what the?
I'm glad we're not writing a horror story. There's something crawling around my feet. Ferret friend. Yeah, thank you for giving me the chance to boot the snoot, Chad, before you left. I had to boot the snoot. Anyways, is that a Schecter behind you? The purple
Yeah.
guitar?
Yeah. Mhm.
I thought I recognized the body style and the headstock.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
just
nice,
got it toward the end of last year.
that's a nice fucking guitar.
I had never even played one until I think my son brought one over here, and I was like, "This ain't bad." So I priced them, and I bought one.
Yeah, Schecter's been. They were for the longest time. Their whole deal was we make the cheapest 7 strings and 8 strings and all that stuff. The extra string guitars. And when they first came out, their pickups were trash. But that changed very quickly. I was impressed. It was like 9, maybe 10 months after their first line popped out. They switched pickups and came back. They got a deal with the Deftones, I believe, and one other uh,
Hmm.
big group. And the quality over at Schecter just went through the roof. Thanks, Viking.
Yeah,
I
this
love
is
this shirt.
got the gorgeous color
Oh
too.
yeah, that's sexy as hell. I like that. I like the inlays too. The birds reminds me of
Yeah,
a PRS.
yeah,
It
it's
does.
nice.
It looks like a PRS now that I see it up close. Kind of similar. That's very nice. Yeah, I'm super jealous. None of my guitars that I have now cost over like $200. I got a BC Rich knockoff, a Warlock knockoff. Um, that it's kind of like a knockoff of a knockoff because it's LTD, which is ESP's cheaper version.
Hmm.
But it's the body style of a Warlock, and I love that guitar, but it's cheap as fuck. Pickups suck. I also have an Ibanez G something that I paid like $50 for at a pawn shop. That's it, if I cleaned it up, it'd probably be at most like $100 guitar. I think they were 300 when they first came out. The most expensive guitar I have is my acoustic, which is a Martin, and that's not nowhere near the most expensive one I've ever bought. I bought a Jackson Kelly when I was right out of high school. I saved up $800 and I got the Marty Freeman version of the Jackson, not Jackson Kelly. Those are wild guitars, man, but it was a pain in the ass to play.
So it sounds like you got a bunch of like metal guitars.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's funny because I don't even play metal anymore. It's more blues and shit like that. I'm usually covering the shit I hear on the radio because that's all I listen to nowadays.
Hmm.
And I'm just doing my own stuff. I have a folk cover of the Ramones Pet Cemetery that I've been working on for probably 6-7 years, ever since I started the YouTube channel, because I've been specifically working on it for the channel. I wanted to use it as maybe an outro or something for my videos. All that kind of fell through, but I have a problem with D minor. It's the way my fingers don't work like that. Like, I have no problem with power chords, A's, E's, C's, G's. None of that stuff bothers me. But a D minor, and the opening chord of that is D minor, and I'm self-taught, so I don't know how to like rearrange it to use another scale, to use another note in the same format, kind of deal, or stay in the same, or do it in a different key is what I was looking for. But I love it. But I also can't play and sing at the same time, and I don't like. I sing better while I have my guitar. Mm-hmm. So if I record one, and then I record the vocals to me aren't as good as the guitar playing, or the vocals are better than guitar playing. It just doesn't seem to match up unless I actually play it together. And I have a problem playing that D. My brain freezes right when I have to go to the D minor, because I have to think about where I put my fingers, unlike any other chord. But one of these days, I'm going to get with someone who knows how to do this shit. And I'm going to be like, hey, will you change the chords for me so I don't have to do this D minor bullshit? Anyways, I guess I could just do a power chord, but then
Yeah, you could do that.
It just doesn't sound good on I don't think power chords sound good on acoustic, unless it's like the full bar, all the way across. Mm-hmm. Anyways, but I could probably do it if I paid more attention to it. But yeah, I've been working on that song for like 6-7 years, and it's ridiculous why I have not figured it out yet. All right, let's see here. Share Screen Nation, Planet Caravan. All right, let's go back. No, I'm not supposed to be on Discord. Okay. All right, folks. Now, Chad, if you want to mute me, I might just read this whole thing out loud, just to get back into the feel of it. The gravel in my hands feels like teeth knocked loose when I'm kicked to the face. I choose a good sized moment and pitch it toward them. And Rita used to keep her jewelry in before she sold it. Can sits in the dirt where grass used to grow before so much motor oil, dog piss, or bonfires killed it. Actually, I probably won't read it out loud completely, because it'll take me this entire stream to if I stumble on anything, I'll probably read that out loud.
Okay.
Oh. Hell yeah. I don't know if you can hear me, dude, but my local library is going all in on these fucking bigots. They are fighting them tooth and nail to keep the books where they're supposed to be, because there's people here that want either books removed or held behind the counter. So they put it behind the counter until a vote. And it says Prattville Library Board returns books to shelves, declines to move others. Fuck yeah. Keep them books out there, brothers, sisters. Keep them out there. Thank you very much, J Rod. Appreciate the support. Ooh.
Be right back.
Uh-huh. Hey Vamp, how you doing? Long days and pleasant nights, Century. How are you doing? Uh,
Did you get through it?
almost. I'm almost to where I was yesterday.
No, I meant
What?
reading. Did you go back up and read?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I'm through all the stuff that you've changed
Okay.
up until the point that our paths diverged.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'm just waiting for you to see how you blend, if you blend anything that I had there at the end of that chapter.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I did stop when I need to go back through that.
I also don't want to go too much farther in the next chapter until you sign off on or tell me you
Okay.
want to change what I
Okay.
the setup for the how he got the coke.
All right. Maybe I should read ahead without without changing anything, just to see where we're at.
I know I'm gonna have to change stuff like the chips and whatnot.
Mhm.
I think I have other mentions to the chips that were supposed to be ramen. Actually, while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break while I got a second.
Okay. Man.
Get up and walk around, and then when I come back, we can talk about where we're at.
All right. I will share my screen then
Okay.
while
All
you're
right. Let
gone.
me remove this one. Stop sharing screen. There we go. All right. I'll be back. Century, all is well. That's good. That's good. I'm glad you're doing well. I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes, guys.
I think you got a. Okay. Well, I guess I won't be able to share my screen then, because I can't put it up there on my own. I need permission. So we won't share my screen then.
That was Sophia. It's no you okay. You got it a little bit wrong. Yeah, but I was a little bit wrong too. The one time because everybody tried that. Yeah. I get that you know went through a lot of crap with your girls, but this is not one of them. It might sound like it, but it's not. And I last night we were together, and I told her that I still like have regard of her, and I still don't fully trust her. And I had that conversation and started reading like a whole 5-page thing that she wrote about me over the span of 9 months because there was just nothing else like me. And she read that, I freaking really bawled my eyes out. And in my head, if we weren't completely equally feeling the same things the whole time that we did, then I would not even think about dating her. And I thought, in my head, I thought that she was going on some rampage, smashing every dude, but she only slept with one guy, and I only slept with one girl, so it's like, I don't really care. I know. Yeah, and I get that, but she showed that she's changed, and I mean, only time will show that. I didn't even want to show you that she was there that day. But she laid out. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks. is considered passing up because I've been like stood up and then not been able to see anything, and then have woke up back on the couch like the second week. But I knew it was passing. Well, that's like I would stand up and then quickly, and then I would be. What? Like hourly, like seconds. I've always been like South Hawaiian.
But you just, your body doesn't keep your, especially your working. I mean, I made you lunches for like the first 2 weeks straight, and I was really hoping that, and I tried to do like different things so you could see what you could do. Think of your body as a car. It's when you run out of gas, it's gonna have faint.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I hope that you're got your own thing you're working on too, or that you're finding this even just a little bit encouraging to get some words in if writing is your thing. Couldn't share my screen because I tried to get your attention, but
Sorry.
it's okay.
Damn it. My bad. What happened with the screen?
You have to give like permission, or you have to put it up there, I think.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Okay,
It's
well,
okay.
if you want to throw it up now, that's fine. Hey, Alec. Hey, WRV 341. I'm glad you're doing well, Alec. I forgot about that. I sure did.
What happened to my window? What the heck?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. I'm doing fantastic now. I'm finally starting to wake up. It was a long morning. Once again, I'm glad I got my biological clock on schedule because I woke up at 7:41. For some odd reason, my alarm didn't go off. I woke up at 7:41. I was like, all right.
I wanted to ask you before I forgot. Earlier, you were talking about that book that you liked.
Tiger's Wife review will be up this week, guys.
I was just wondering if you have ever read this. This was my biological father's favorite book of all time, and I haven't read it.
Aztec? No, I haven't.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. He read lots of horror. He was a big King fan, big Barker fan. Loved all the splatterpunk stuff too, like the drive-in and things like that. But this was his favorite book of all time.
Aztec. Gary Jennings.
And I started it, and I think it's one of these things that you gotta the beginning of it was one of the worst things I'd ever read in my life. At the time, it's been years, but I know I need to tackle it eventually because
There is 6 books in that series, Chad.
yeah, I have some of them,
Good
if not all of them. But I think that's the first one.
Yeah, it's 100% the first one. And just
But yeah,
wow.
he loves that big time. But he's turned me on to some stuff that I never would have picked up on my own, like this book with the worst cover in the world. It's one of my favorite books of all time.
Some Kind of Hero. I've heard of
Yeah.
it.
Oh my gosh, man! And who was it? Somebody that I know, an author, because I mentioned Aztec, and I mentioned this in Skullface Boy, and so they read Some Kind of Hero.
Okay.
Which they turned into a horrible movie starring Richard Pryor, and it's a really bad movie.
Did they change the name of it?
No,
I do not remember. I thought I saw everything that Richard Pryor did.
no, this is like and they tried to throw a little bit of comedy in it. It's a bad movie. But
Margot Kidder.
this is amazing book. And then he turned me on to this too. And if you haven't read this, you have to read this. The Painted Bird by Jerzy Kosinski.
That's actually on one of my lists. I don't know what list it's on, but
you would really like this. Man, it is one of the most brutal, if not the most brutal books I've ever read. About a kid who gets taken away from his parents during World War II and stumbles into all kinds of people along the way, and it's freaking the crap that he goes through is insane. And it's Jerzy ended up killing himself. I think he hung himself, but
damn.
Yeah, such a good book. Chad, how many stories did you write before you published or got published? I think 4. And I had written 4 short stories, never wrote a thing for almost 2 decades. And then wrote a story and then got it published through a kind of like Love for the Love thing. I think the first few stories I had published were through like For the Love, like I didn't sell them; they just were published. And but the first 4 that I wrote, most of them were not very good, and I had only submitted one to, I think it was Fantasy and Science Fiction magazine in the 90s, and I got rejected, and I just never sent. It wasn't until people started taking submissions electronically that I really started to. I don't know if it was laziness or what. It's just that I don't want to send all this. I don't want to send self-addressed stamped envelopes all the time and stuff. So after I got to a conversation with somebody who had something published, and I was like, "So they're all taking stuff electronically now?" It's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm doing this," and I've been doing it ever since.
Man, the struggle was real back in the day. I had to buy writers' markets guides just to find people to submit.
I bought writers' markets freaking high back in like 95, something like that, and was highlighting everything, was choosing markets to send stuff to, and there was a lot of cool magazines you could submit to with making some decent money, but the magazines that I have published now are more like books, like Mystery. What is that? Mystery Weekly or it's more like it's like a magazine, but it's not like a magazine. It's more like I don't know, almost like a coloring book, where it's got the thick.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
cover,
about.
And then Mystery Weekly.
Yeah, Robatone has one like that, and I can't remember the periodical, whatever you want to call it, that he's got a story in. But I was really taken aback in a good way by the quality of it. I should bring it out here and show it off at some point. But he's got a story in there, and just the production quality of the zine itself is fucking amazing. It has the thin. It's almost like Creep Show, where it has like the thicker paper.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like that. I'll bring it out and show it off. So I'll try and remember next time we stream, which is going to be Monday morning, I would think. But yeah, it's really nice. And I thought about submitting to them, but I was like, nah, I got other shit I need to do.
This is Mystery
Yeah,
Weekly magazine.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this the one that Rob has something in.
Got a story in that one.
It's got a really cool, like almost death metal, like Cannibal Corpse cover to it. Really cool. A question to both of you: do you have a favorite novel? Well, yeah, mine's easy. I don't know about Chad, but mine's It by Stephen King.
Man, I don't know that I can. I don't know. I don't know that I can answer that. I mean, I have like a top 3 or 4, whatever, like Boy's Life and The Green Mile, and Painted Bird is up there. I Am Legend is one of them, by Richard Matheson.
I'm sorry, I can't take that book seriously. The giant dick, just it kills me every time I even think about. No, not I Am Legend. Hell House. I'm sorry, I don't know why I get those two conflated, but Hell House is got one of the goofiest fucking things I've ever read, and I'm sure it was terrifying back then when so many people were prudes, but the guy chasing everybody through this haunted house with this giant phallus. I can't do it. It's kind of like Bentley Little's Dominion. Toward the end, there's a satyr, like god-like goat man thing, and he's got this massive dick that he rips the nuns that worship him in half with. And I'm like, I can't take this shit seriously. This is definitely parody and satire, right? This cannot be serious. But anyways, it's kind of like the problem I have. The only problem I have with American Gods by Neil Gaiman is there's a character in there that eats dudes with her vagina. Literally just gobbles them up. And shit like that, I find hilarious. I don't find it a bit disturbing. I find it laughable.
Have you seen the movie Teeth?
Oh yeah. That one bothered me a little bit more, especially like the first time when like it falls out of her. That bothered me. But like the big, I mean, because that's still like somewhat in the realm of believability for me. Mm-hmm. But to consume someone through that way, or to have a member that big, like that's goofy to me. But something like vagina dentata, or however you pronounce it, it's unsettling. But I mean, shit like that actually happens. Like, not the control to be able to, but they found teeth in Nunus before. So
they're making this will probably blow your mind. Then they're making a musical on the movie Teeth.
I'm not surprised, but I am like, why? I mean, hey, if somebody wants to put the effort in, whatever. But I mean, there's Carrie the musical, there's Beetlejuice the musical, there's all different kinds of stuff I never thought would be a musical. Evil Dead, yeah. So I'd watch it, but I'd especially like to see if they do the scene where it falls out. That'd be fucking hilarious. Like, she belts like a really high note and it just plunk. See, I can't even take that seriously. But I mean, that scene did bother the hell out of me, and I don't know why.
You can't take it seriously, but your favorite book is about a clown that turns into a spider.
Yes. Well, it's not a clown that turns into a spider. He gets stuck in the spider form because I almost went full nerd on you. Anyways, but
in order to save the day, a bunch of 13-year-old kids have to have an orgy in the sewer.
11. They are 11. It makes it even worse. But yes, they are 11, and that's like one page out of an 1,100-page book, dude.
It's a very unforgettable page.
But yes, it is. And everyone I talk to that isn't a weirdo skips it every time they get to it. Same here. I read it 18 times.
It didn't bother me at all.
I think I've only read that scene twice. In fact, the copy that I have, that I've read the most of, it's literally dog-eared. That page is dog-eared, so I can just skip right over it. But in my defense, the clown isn't what bothers me. Like, the clown isn't why I like it. The clown is just like a fucking avatar. Same with the spider. It's just forms that he's been stuck in because they're so universally scary to people. Except for people like you who have no problem with clowns.
Mhm.
But what terrifies me is the way it uses the people's fears. And like the scariest scene for me has no action in it whatsoever. It's literally Ben on the bridge. He's looking out over the frozen barrens, and Pennywise is there, but he's a fucking mummy, and it's just so out of place. And Ben of course is scared of the mummy, and it's just standing there with the fucking balloons. And that scene is so understated, it gets underneath my skin. It's kind of like there's a scene in Night Film the same way, where it's just it's just a main character looking out onto this bridge, and there's something on the bridge, and it's not well defined. It just there's bits. I got goosebumps just thinking about it. But again, Night Film and It, those are not the reasons why I love those books. It's all about the characters and the story and the mystery of the whole thing. But no, the Pennywise doesn't scare me. None of the movie versions of the clown have really scared me. But it gets the mummy and the giant bird that Mike has to deal with. But both of those are scary to me for whatever reason. Probably because they shouldn't be, and it's just the way he wrote them that actually frightens me. But I don't read it to be frightened. I read it for the camaraderie and the nostalgia and that feeling of togetherness, being outsiders and finding your people and all that. And then the generational trauma theme that's throughout all of that stuff. I really, yeah, that's the reason. And also, it's like the book opens with a king telling his kids not to forget the magic. And I think that's another reason why I like the book, is because no matter how many times I read it, there's still that sense of discovery.
It took me 4 years to get through that.
I don't doubt it. This book is gratefully dedicated to my children. My mother and my wife taught me how to be a man. My children taught me how to be free. Kids, fiction is the truth inside the lie, and the truth of this fiction is simple enough. The magic exists. I just love that quote. And he spent almost half a century living that life. They always trying something new, always going with the risk instead of the easy win. Even when he does a sequel to something, it's usually nothing that people expected or even wanted, like Dr. Sleep. People wanted more to that book than what it was, just to find out that, you know, Danny's an alcoholic as an adult, and but he was able to beat it. And then you have this whole new character. People wanted to hyper focus on Danny and what happened to him, and that book just turned into something completely different.
Did you see the movie?
Oh yeah, I fucking love the movie.
Okay, so you were able to appreciate all the Kubrick stuff that they brought in.
Oh hell yeah, definitely. In fact, in my review, I said that the book fixes both the problems with Dr. Sleep, the book that I had, because I only gave it 3 stars. The main characters that never felt like they were in danger. There was never a moment where I was like, I'm worried about you. Abra was so overpowered from the get-go that I was like, whatever. And then Danny has control of his shit, so they're obviously going to win easily, and they did. And then also I said in my review, and it also fixes the issues that I had with Kubrick's film. So he geniusly mashed them together and made this heartfelt, horrifying story, and stripped away all the clinical stuff, all the soulless stuff from Kubrick's The Shining, and then fixed all of the overpowered nonsense that was in the book that I didn't like. So, like, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when Abra meets Rose the Hat in like that dream world, and degloves her. Like, she gets her hand stuck in a safe deposit box in the dream world, and it gets degloved. I love the nod to Gerald's Game, and I also love the fact that I was more worried for Abra in the movie than I ever was in the book. And I'm not sure why, because they were pretty much the same. But I think I liked the characterization of Abra in the movie more than I liked the characterization in the book. And then, of course, there's the baseball boy scene, which is, if you can get through that and feel good, you're probably a psychopath because that scene is so fucking disturbing. It's so upsetting to watch this child beg for his life, knowing he's not going to make it. And the whole thing, that's the kind of shit that's scary to me, is like that bit of dialogue where he says, he's sobbing, he's like, are you gonna hurt me? And she just leans in and goes, yes. Like, fuck you, man. That's horrid. That's true villain stuff. Yeah, it's true. That's a good ass villain. And in my memory, I do not remember them saying that in the book. I've watched the movie numerous times, but if they did, King did not drive it home as well as they did in the movie. It's just that lean in and the breathy yes. I was like, oh, fuck off. Yeah, you're scary now. You weren't scary in the book. But there's also like, there's a bunch of stuff I'm glad they fixed with the book also, just to make my own heart feel better. Like Tommy, the CH word, the Asian slur, the slur for Asians. Tommy, I'm not going to say the word.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
But they changed it in the movie, of course, because fucking why was he named that to begin? Probably because he was, nomad and whatnot, and that's how these people speak. But at the same time, having to read that, I certainly didn't want to hear that over and over again when they were talking to each other. But the true knot for me was never really unique individuals. Even though they had unique names, they were never unique individuals, and therefore they were never scary to me. In the book, in the movie, they characterize the character development's fantastic. Flanagan did a terrific job building each and every single one of those characters, even to a point when the old man dies. I actually felt bad that this monster was fucking dying just because the way everyone was reacting. Mm-hmm. In the book, I never got any of those vibes. Nothing whatsoever. I was just like, okay, this happened. He died. They eat him, and then we move on. But in the movie, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, this is brilliant. It's shot perfectly, everything. So yeah, it fixed every problem I had with Kubrick's The Shining, and every problem I had with Dr. Sleep, the book. It beautifully melded them together. A much better climactic ending than just, well, I think Rose falls out of a fucking watchtower or something. I can't remember how they beat her, but she's one of them, like up in a. It was very lackluster, and of course, you read King, you expect that kind of shit, but Flanagan did a fantastic job going back to the Overlook, and I liked it. I liked it more. I like the Shining, Kubrick's The Shining, more now because Dr. Sleep exists. Mm-hmm. Because now I'm not mad that the building, the Overlook wasn't destroyed, because we get to go back there and see him let Danny face his demons. I love every minute of that movie.
It was impressive. I signed up for the Kubrick stuff because when I saw the trailer, that was all my favorite parts. When Danny went back to the hotel and stuff, I was just giddy, man, revisiting all this.
I bet.
Revisiting the carpet, the bathroom, all this stuff. I was just like, man, yes. And I thought it was genius to do that film and not and ignore like the huge stamp that Kubrick left behind with his rendition or whatever of The Shining would be stupid. So the fact that he was able to grab both camps and make them both happy was the way to do it. And Flanagan, I think we talked recently how much I hate Mick Garris's films.
I'm right there with you, man. I don't know why King. I guess because they're friends. I don't know, but
I don't get it.
A good movie.
Garris seems like a great guy that loves horror, but I don't get it. But Flanagan, like when I heard that somebody was making a film of Gerald's Game, I was like, yeah, good luck,
And he fucking killed it.
Oh my gosh,
he fucking killed it. I was
because if there was one Stephen King book that I would be like, you can't make an entertaining movie of this, it would probably be Gerald's Game.
Yeah. Mike Flanagan kicked open the door. It was like, haha, watch me. One of my favorite interviews with him is before Dr. Sleep was even like fully in production. He'd written the script. It was going to be a movie, but it wasn't fully in production. And the poor the poor journalist that asked him this question, it would I didn't feel bad for them, but it was awkward. It's like a one of those awkward situations that you kind of enjoy when the lady asked him, "Did you feel any nerves or worried about how you were going to blend these two together, you know, and have them both in the Kubrick world of The Shining and Dr. Sleep the book?" And Mike Flanagan looked her right in the face and just said, "No, not at all." And that was it. That was the end of that question. And she's over there. She's like, "Oh, okay, moving on." I was like, and obviously he had it all on lock the entire time. He wasn't a bit worried about it because he had figured out how to, which is the genius part of that movie, how to blend both and make both camps happy. But that is, it's one of my favorite interviews with him, because he said, "No, not at all." And she was not prepared for that. She was prepared for him going, "Of course there's some kind of, you know, you got the pulp culture stuff," and all. She was expecting some kind of deep answer, and you could tell. And he was just like, "No, not at all." Like, good for you, Mike. Good for you.
He's doing Poe now.
Yeah. Follow the House of Usher. Anywho, I guess we got to get back to work.
Distraction, yeah.
It's a terrible, terrible, terrible work ethic we have.
We've been doing good.
I know. I'm just kidding. Anyway, before we get back to this, did you read what I wrote for the setup? For him stealing the Coke?
Oh, no. I
Okay.
hadn't got there. I just now was trying to. I had taken some more of the, because I realized that I without really knowing it, I had essentially rewrote the whole.
Yeah, I noticed. I didn't know how you were going to blend it or not.
So I picked some of that and I dropped in there things like "I'm going to jail," some other stuff like that. I changed a couple things and pulled some of your stuff in there.
Okay.
And so I was just I was tackling that first, because I felt kind of bad that I had just gone in there and ignored everything essentially.
Whatever. If it works better, it works better. I also had another idea.
What's it?
Let's say on the way, I want to run this past you before we actually get to the scene. On the way to the carnival, like, he's already decided that he's kind of running away is what I'm figuring we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And he just ends up coming across Shenna back behind the barn outside of this carnival, whatever you're gonna do. What if along the way he comes across, like, he walks by the person that, because basically what I've had is Travis went to go score a bag on good faith from a dealer. The dealer was high and himself and was like, "Hey, just grab just grab a bag out of the shed." So Travis goes out there to the shed. This is the story that he tells his family anyways. He goes out to the shed, he finds a brick, so he took the brick instead. And then he tells his family he was too high to notice, and when he does, he won't even remember I was there, kind of thing is what I was going for. I probably didn't say that, but that's what I was going for. And then I was thinking on the way to running away or whatever, he just happens to pass, the guy's name's Cooter, the drug dealer that I had Travis steal from. On the way, go by
you must be a big Dukes of Hazzard fan, because you also mentioned Cletus.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the stereotypical bullshit around here. Like, everyone knows a Cletus, a Bubba, a Cooter. Everyone knows those people in real life here. You know, you just, "Hey, Cooter, what's up?" Or even if their name's not Cooter, you know, they call each other Bubba, you know, Cletus, that kind of shit.
Boobs.
All those names, man. But yeah, so I just threw Cooter in there. I was thinking as Shane is leaving, he could walk by and see a crime scene out in front of Cooter's place. Maybe Travis, you know, killed the dude, and now Cooter's family is looking for whoever killed. So they don't know automatically who stole the stuff. So that side be muddled that way. But I don't know if that works as far as but like the first phone call when he gets there and he talks to Cassidy, Cassidy could tell him. Well, he could tell Cassidy. He's like, I think Uncle Travis killed Cooter because there was cops out there. They were rolling the body out, and Cooter lives alone. Whatever, and then Cassidy, well, that's good then, right? That means nobody's coming after us. And you could have, and then by the next week, you have this feeling like he's left this all behind. Like everything's fine at home. He doesn't have to worry about it. But then he gets the call. Oh, well, he calls Cassidy at whatever payphone we designate. And Cassidy's like, I think someone's found out, Uncle Trav has been acting weird, so on and so forth. I think someone's coming after them, and they've been talking about going to find you, so on and so forth, and build that tension. I don't know if you think that's too on the nose to have him walk by the crime scene, but it would also tell us the truth about what happened. Instead of him just walking off with Cooter's drugs, he literally killed the dude, and started some kind of not turf war, but you get what I'm saying.
My only problem with that is, will the reader think that our Shane is just an idiot because not only is he because he's running away, but he's also involving himself even more, and this time with like murder by taking this cocaine, where
but he wouldn't know until he's already stole it. Like he wouldn't realize, and now he can't go back home because he has this stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I misunderstood. Okay. So he's already has the stuff, and then he finds out later, oh, this goes far deeper than I thought.
Right, exactly, and that could build the tension, is what I'm thinking anyways. Once again, not married to anything, I'm just throwing that out there, just to give an idea that, even further, that Travis has not only stolen from this guy, but he's also lied to his family about how deep they are into it. How scary the situation actually is. Because Travis is of course an idiot, but anyways, that's pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's where I was going to go with it, and that probably won't be to chapter 3 until we even tackle that. I'm going down to the notes.
Okay.
Yeah, Protag doesn't want to sit around here about all his bright future with the cocaine, so he hits the local carnival. Yeah, I mean, he can meet Shinna then, and then end up him going back and deciding and he's taking the cocaine and joining the carnival. And then that second trip where he decides he's going to be joining is when he goes by Cooter's house and notices cops out there. Maybe he passed by it the first time and is like, that's Cooter's house, no activity. Then he passes by the next day when he finally decides to leave, and there's a bunch of cops out there, and they're rolling Cooter out or rolling somebody out. Whatever. I don't know. Something like that.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Uncle DeWitt in the characters list.
Okay.
We got... Right. I'm going to add your screen back to that if you want to. Okay. I don't know if you want to share what you're writing or not.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna run and use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Southern sounding names, yeah, we're going for Hicklet with this one, definitely. Sorry about that. Had to try and pry my 11-year-old out of bed.
Oh,
That boy love him bed. Love him bed. Let's go see what you're doing. What you done did.
still working on Fusion 2. I've separated them now. I'm doing a dumpster scene where he's going to.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like a plan B because he thinks that he thinks Cassidy didn't get everything he needed. He knows he didn't get the peanut butter, but I wanted him to find out later that he actually did get the peanut butter and make some reference. Maybe he's more of a ninja than I thought. Whatever, but
Gotcha.
like he's did a better job than he thought he did. But he's kind of grabbing the pizza as a plan B, and he's trying to get it done as soon as he can to hopefully meet him up at the same time so Cassidy doesn't get in trouble for coming back home with only
Yeah, I got you.
part of his list. I'm struggling today, man. I really am struggling writing today.
I understand.
I don't know why.
Sometimes it be like that.
I think it's I keep my boys home today. So I was distracted because they were out there talking. Are you one of these people who capitalize dumpster because it's a brand name?
No, I don't think I've ever done that. No.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't think I've ever had an editor change it either. And I use dumpsters a lot, so. Wait a second. Before I go any farther,
Yeah.
you're having him grab a pizza, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is okay. Gotcha. Okay. I'm changing my stuff in the next part because I don't know. You may not like it. I may be double working myself, but that's all right. Go ahead. Stan.
My thing is, like he took a shortcut. He grabbed this. He flipped the lid of this thing, grabbed a pizza, saw there was another one underneath it, grabbed that, took off running. So if Cassidy gets home before he does, it's only a minute.
Yeah, I got you.
So if he's because I just noticed you said sucking broth from ramen cup.
Yeah. I'm trying to make it work with what you got up there, and if none of it stays, then I'm fine with that.
So you're talking about cup of ramen.
Or whatever. We could do sucking ramen broth.
Well, my point is, there's no
no
way that would have been cooked, is what I'm saying.
I got you.
But
well, it only takes 2 minutes. I mean, you could literally, at least the ramen cups I'm aware of, only take 2 minutes in the microwave on high. From a bowl. Ramen broth.
I'll have my dude slow down then because and get distracted with something.
Well,
I know it's only 2 minutes, but that's if
also ramen cups are not going to fit in not a bunch of them aren't going to fit in his, like the pre-packaged Maruchan styrofoam cups. He could only fit like 1 or 2 in his jacket.
Yeah, I know. So I'm saying like the only way the ramens would be done even in a bowl is if he sprinted home because I got so we'll have to change something because I got Shane, running as fast as he can because he was trying to beat Cassidy home.
Gotcha.
So
I mean, it could be something as he's trying to beat Cassidy home. I was just thinking it could be something where the pizza parlor is like the opposite direction, like another block or something, but he's still running. I don't know. I mean, I'm not even attached to this whole thing with him. He could just be sitting on the front steps. When I get back, Cassidy is sat on the front steps. He has the biggest shit-eating grin on his face as he hollers.
That's what I was saying because I saw that you had the Cheeto dust or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought we would just go with that. Like he got more than he thought that he got. He not only got the ramen, he got peanut butter, he got chips.
We could, 100%. We could.
And everybody's got the food inside, but he's sitting on the steps, covered in, Cheeto dust.
Yeah. And then. So he has 2 boxes of pizza. I could probably just read.
Yeah, they're in those. I got them in those like bags, but with the cardboard backing.
Gotcha.
So that they're greased. Is soaking through the.
Yeah, I got you. I'm reading it.
I don't usually use the term slow your roll, but since we're talking about Cassidy being a snowball.
Yeah. That's cute. I like that. The real one's going to get that. That's really good. All right, so it's 2 pizza boxes. I am having to regain an old habit. I used to format like this before Bay's End with the spaces between paragraphs, and I stopped doing it because it annoyed one of my editors, and now I'm having to break the habit again in reverse so I could remember to put the spaces. It's just an aside I wanted to throw in there. I thought it was funny.
Well, hang on. We can.
Oh no, we're fine. Don't mess with it because I'm back.
I'm going to because we can format this, which is what I've been doing lately, and I forgot to.
Fine. I usually write it. It doesn't. Let me get this out. It doesn't bother me one way or another, but I usually format it the way I want it to look in the book by the end. But yeah, this doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I'm getting the hang of it again. So the double enter after every line. But that's up to you. If you want to go back, I'm a switch hitter. I can do either. It's just I find it funny that I thought the story was funny. I went through hell trying to break that habit, and now I'm having to redo it again. And it's coming back, but yeah, I'm just not used to it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Jacob Tremblay was the baseball boy. That shit was. Whew.
I just wrote something I think I'm going to take out.
It happens. It happens. It happens.
It's just a little perverted. And I was trying to give this guy a backstory, and I thought, we'll make it creepy, and I don't know.
You went full Lorne. You never go full Lorne.
Guy that owns the car wash, Mr. Franklin, gives Cassidy a quarter every time he sees him. Cassidy loves the guy, thinks he's got a good heart, has a generous soul, but I'm not so sure. Cassidy doesn't see Mr. Franklin's eyes wander where they shouldn't when he has his back turned, doesn't notice the subtlety of wandering fingers across his shoulder when he's bringing him in for a side hug during one of his little pep talks about what a good kid he is.
Hey, that's subtly that's subtle. That's far more subtle than I thought you were talking about, since you said you were going to remove it. I do not mind that. That is, I don't hate that. But there is the question: do we need it?
Exactly.
So
I mean, I like adding those kind of things, but this particular one probably don't need it.
true. But at the same time, this is the kind of thing that, you know, we're going to need to kind of space out the book. So
It also, and one of the main reasons I think maybe I should take it out is because I don't want the reader to ever be
think
like,
he's important.
why would you leave Cassidy back with all this? You know, Mr. Franklin,
Yeah. It's also superfluous detail, since we're never going to deal with Mr. Franklin again. So on that note, I say go ahead and get rid of it. But I do like it, so it might end up getting cut anyways by an editor. Might be something where they point out just basically what I said. If we're never coming back to Mr. Franklin, why do we need this?
Yeah,
kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill it.
Well, that was depressing. Sorry, I liked it, but anyways, I fully agree. It's another one of those things. Killing darlings ain't even mine. I'm over here mourning the loss of them. Anyways, I think my section is now caught up to your section, where we're both on the same page.
Okay.
So we blended in the outline. We blended chapter 1 and chapter 2 together. So in chapter 2, we can have him getting fed up and leaving. And then chapter 3 would open up with him on the way.
Okay.
On the way to meet Shenna for the first time is what I'm saying. We can end that with him going home, deciding to take the coke in chapter 4. Because if these are 4,000 to 5,000 word long chapters, then I mean that gets us to close to 20,000 words for the opening before he even joins the carnival.
Okay.
Hey, Haley. Sorry, just seeing you. We've been working. Damn it. I'm choked to death on my coffee before before the day's over. Did we lose Chad or did he?
I'm here, dude. I'm just
Okay, hi.
eating. I'm eating.
That's fine. That's fine. I was just wondering if I lost you.
No, I
Like your
just I got my
camera,
camera
whatever.
off. So I'm eating while I can continue.
How dare you eat and work at the same time?
Right? So rude.
I feel like you don't even respect me.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. I know you're gonna cut like 3/4 of this, but it's there for you to do what you want with it. I was talking to Shella about this, and she goes, "So how's it going with Chad? Is he keeping much of your stuff?" We've been together 22 years, and so she knows I've been through all this before. And the last time I did this was literally like less than 6 months ago, where I wrote something for someone and he didn't use a single word of what I wrote and completely rewrote it from the ground up. But I mean, I already got paid for it. And the whole point is to have something that he could build off of. And so I told her it's no different than working with Josh. And she said, oh, okay. Well, that's pretty easy. And it's like, yeah. And it's not like he's not using anything, because Josh didn't use a fucking thing. And I was perfectly fine with that. But I have always been, and I told her this, I've always been whatever serves the project. I don't give a shit about the order of the words. I don't give a shit about, and that's as long as we have a complete, cogent piece by the end, I'm perfectly fine with what happens. I don't know if I just come off as someone who would get upset about that, or, most people are the opposite. So I just don't know.
I am. That's good because I'm not that kind. I am a control freak.
I've noticed. I'm perfectly fine with that.
And that's why I can't always write with just anyone. Tim Meyer is one of the most laid back people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Good
dude.
Great dude, love him. And John Bowden, of course, is too. The difference between the two, John Bowden, is it's. I mean, he writes much more poetically than I do. I save that and use it more. The things that he does use it more sparingly than he does. He's not. A lot of his stuff isn't like a. My stuff is like a fast read. It's very, very simple. I think my stuff is like if you're not even into reading, I think my stuff is more like for the person who, maybe doesn't enjoy reading that much because I try to keep it really simple. Where someone like Black and Teeth, which I know you loved, incredible prose. There's no doubt about it. But that's a I would never be able to write that kind of prose, but I would never want to either. But that kind of book is an example of something that you can't just speed through, because there's a lot of depth into what's being written there. And Bowden is like that, but he not like that. But his stuff, it's hard to describe. I learned a lot from reading him, and I'm able to mock him, and he's able to mock me. And it's our original prose is so close together anyway that it's kind of a different process.
Yeah.
But I'm glad because I mean I don't have to be a control freak, but I guess I'm more comfortable being that way. I don't know, man.
It's funny. I was laughing while you were telling the Bowden story, and the only reason I was laughing had nothing to do with what you were saying. Is I keep picking up and putting down Out Behind the Barn, not because it's bad, but because when I want a Chad Lutzke book, I want a Chad Lutzke book, and I keep opening up Out Behind the Barn, and I see these, the first paragraph's a decent length, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's just like, this ain't Chad Lutzke. This isn't what I signed up for. This is denser than anything else he's done. So I find that funny, but I'll read it eventually. I want to read something by Bowden before reading that one. I'm also starting Broad Street Bastard today. I know I told you I was going to start it ages ago, but I got into The Tiger's Wife and it was going so well I didn't want to stop. I was going to read them back to back, but I was like, no, this one really requires my attention, and I want to give Chad his due attention. So I'll be starting that today, but I'm excited for it because I'm in the mood for something. After reading this dense motherfucker, I'm excited to open up a Chad Lutzke book and get the Lutzke I desire, that kind of thing. And I still got to go back and read. I know they're all out of order, and I know they're standalones or whatnot. I got to go back and do Same Deep Water. I got to do that one because I know that's the first, but it's also the last so far.
It's like the first written, but it's the last in the series.
Right, yeah. Exactly. So I'm also worried about Jex. So it's another reason why don't tell me anything whether he survives or not. But I'm also worried about Jex. I like Jex, so I will find out. But yeah, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you, and I know you're light still. But the thing is, it's almost like a spoiler without being a spoiler. It's like that you. And don't even hint that I'm right, but it feels like there's a reason why you decided to go backward instead of forward. So that's another reason why I'm just like, I'll leave that one for a while until. Are you planning another one?
Yeah, and I'm pretty far into it. It's going to be much longer than all of them.
Okay, well then I'll wait for that one before. And once you tell me it's done, I will go back and read Deep Water. Is it another? It's another prequel, right? You're just writing these completely.
They're all backwards. Yeah, they're all backwards.
Okay, cool. I dig the fuck out of that. That's almost like the film Memento. I really dig shit like that. Here's one for you. I'm thinking of Ending Things by Ian. I can never remember the dude's name.
Reed.
Anyways, Reed. Ian Reed. Yeah. I'm thinking of Ending Things. Not word for word backward, but you can read the book backward and have an entirely new experience. You can read the last chapter, second to last chapter, third to last chapter backward, because the whole book isn't a palindrome, of course, but you can read them backward and get a completely different story, but still a full story, which I thought was, I don't even know if that was intended, but I was picking things up along the way, and I did the audiobook. And then I went back and did the audiobook again. I went to the very last chapter, did the one before that, all the way till I got to the first chapter again, and I got a completely different story. And I've never tried that, and I've never even thought about trying that with any books that I've read. But that one fits so perfectly. The way I
wonder what happens if you read it while listening to Pink Floyd and watching Wizard of Oz.
God damn it! Who knows? God damn it, man. Anyways, I was going to say something when you were talking about you write like a screenwriter is what I've always noticed. There's far more detail, but your stuff is basically just the pertinent details of where we're at, what's going on, and then your dialogue starts and it's a race to the fucking finish. It's the same way every single time. As soon as people start talking, I'm hooked. And that's pretty much all a script is. It's mostly dialogue. You have your pertinent details, and you move on. So 100%, I know you'd make a killer screenwriter because you're already doing that, and they're all about movie length, anyways. I think I can read most of your books in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it literally feels like I've watched a movie. So I'll probably be done. Now it's too late in the day by the time we're done here to start it, but. I might be done. I don't even know how long it is. I might be done with it today. It all depends.
It's not very long. I can't remember. Maybe lower 20,000, something like that.
I'm gonna burn right through that shit. I can edit my own 20,000 K novellas in a day. So yeah, I'm gonna burn right through that. Definitely.
I would love to write more screenplays. I've only written the one for Wormwood, and that got. It went through many revisions because we worked with, Tim and I wrote it, but we worked with we had to answer to Mallerman and his other half of Spin a Black Yarn production team, and then the director. And there was some stuff that I'm still kind of upset about that. I'm almost convinced that if we would have left these in, maybe we would have found. Maybe we'd be further along right now. But
Well, you don't know this about me. I've never told you this, but as soon as I'm done with a novel and I know it's going to be published, I start working on the screenplay.
nice.
I start doing that. So if you want to, I'm going to be working with Derek from Chat after we get done with the book. I'm going to be working with Derek because he's never written anything. And it's going to be interesting to work with someone who has no writing experience whatsoever. I've only done it one other time, but even then they had tried writing stuff, and dude hasn't tried anything from what I understand. So I was wondering if when I'm done with that, while we're shopping around, in the background, while we're shopping this around, and I'm done with Derek's thing, if you want to just go ahead and jump in and start doing the screenplay.
Do you have final draft?
Yeah, I got final draft.
So
Oh yeah. Yeah, there ain't no way in hell I'm working in Word with a fucking script. Ain't no fucking way, man. That shit's not happening. And I've had here's a funny story. I can't mention the author, but remind me if you can to mention the author after we're done.
Okay.
After we're done live. So we're already 2 hours into this. Anyways, so there's this author pretty well known in the horror community. I have absolutely nothing against this one. Okay, this isn't a bad story, but he come to find out he was working with a director buddy of mine, and they were trying to get him to write because their whole build for their production company that they're working on starting is we let the author adapt it for a couple reasons, but the reason they're not telling everybody is because they're tired of people complaining about the adaptations not following the books and the things that they have to change. So they're signing the authors to write the screenplays of their own books so that he could literally point to them and go, he fucked up his own thing. That kind of thing, which I find is funny. But I also like that he's given so much control to the actual author. So they said, all right, you need to write this. It needs to be this long, so on and so forth. You need to write an adaptation of this book. And the book itself is a novella. So it's very short. The script that this author turned in was A, written in Word and not formatted whatsoever. B, and they even sent him a copy of Final Draft. That's how I got my copy of Final Draft. They sent it to me so I could do Life After Dane. But he sent back a manuscript for the screenplay that was twice as long as the book. That was the first thing. And it was formatted in Word. Well, it wasn't formatted at all. It was just in Word, like with bullet points, like what happens and whatnot. And it's funny because the author got in there and was like, I found so many ways to expand it, having no clue, having no frame of reference for a script. And they're like, we can't do this. Like, and then he calls me up. The director calls me up and he's like, can you do something with this? And I'm like, fuck no. Because it's like, normally people worry about what they have to cut out of, and this author used this to rewrite his own story and make it better and make it longer, when that is the exact opposite of what you're supposed to be doing with.
Has he never read a screenplay before?
I guess not. I don't know the details with this. I barely know the author, but I found it funny that happened. That when he turned it in, like the book is only like 115 pages long, but he turned in a 220-page script, and it wasn't formatted correctly. So it would be even longer if they formatted it correctly. It would be even longer than those 220 pages because once you put that into Final Draft with all the spacing and formatting and everything, it'd make it a 300-page script easily. And I thought it was, I kept asking the dude, I was like, and you didn't tell him it was like a TV show or something? He's like, no, he just has no experience. And so now we're having to whittle down this into that. And there's a pretty big name dude that's going to be direct. He was the person I'm talking about is just going to be producing it. There's a pretty big name dude who's going to be making the movie adaptation. And this guy has been working on this script for 2 years trying to get it right. And it's just now starting to, and just one script. He's been trying to take things away and argue with the author about, what can't be in there and how they're going to make this cohesive. Now that he's added so much, he's kind of sticking to his guns. He's like, it's better like this, even though they've told him, why don't you just write an expanded version of your novella, turn it into a novel, and then we can do the movie based on that. And he's like, no, this is how the movie should be. I'm like, oh my God, dude. this business.
No,
hate this
if
business.
you got a 200-page script, the only person that's going to get that movie made is like Tarantino. They're not going to
Yeah.
look at. They're not going to
Yep.
look at. That was hard. The hardest part for me is trying to, which is ironic considering my stuff is so short, keeping under 112 pages or whatever.
Yeah.
The script, because it's a different kind of. If you can, I wish I would. It's like I said, it's the only script I've written, and I wish I would have started another one right away. Just kept doing it because it's not something I can hop into right now. I would need to go back to my screenwriter's Bible and kind of check up on what how do I start this? What's this thing called that I got to do? Because I forget that kind of stuff.
Dude, you're blowing my mind because I swear to God, it'd be so easy to just
But
turn what
writing
you
a
already
script
have.
itself is freaking just is easy, and I feel like
Oh, you're talking about like int or ext.
Yeah, just all that. Yeah, all of the
continuous and all that stuff. The script speak.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Okay, I get what you're saying. That makes more sense. As I'm sitting here going, it would be super fucking easy. Like just take your narrative and put it in the block text, and then put your dialogue in. Okay.
All the little things, like, okay, I need to have this person's name in all caps just the first time, and you just all the little rules that you have to, that you're expected to follow. But the writing of the script itself, for me anyway, way easier than writing prose. And
have you ever read Storm of the Century? Real quick.
Yeah.
He's one of the worst screenwriters. Stephen King's one of the worst screenwriters of all time. His shit reads like a novel for the most part. It's just formatted weirdly. And what I'm getting at with that is most people don't care. Like they have their own way they're going to do it anyways. Mm-hmm. Like I should send you. I got some Academy Award scripts sitting around here. I should send you the one for Spike Lee's. What's the one in Vietnam? I can't remember the name of the movie now. Anyways, dude, the script, the way he writes his scripts, and I guess he can do that because he's Spike Lee, same with Quentin Tarantino. But they don't follow any of the fucking rules. Like not a lick. Like the people they're working with know their style, so they just go with it. But I've written so many scripts just based on how exactly you're supposed to format it. And they always end up getting changed to the director's own style because they're just going to rewrite it from the ground up anyways because they're going to do a shot script. You have the shooting script and you have the script that pretty much gets picked up. And I've learned not to worry about stuff like that because that shit's going to change anyways because I'm not the one who's going to be doing the shooting script. So if that helps any, definitely, That's crazy. Haley, I'm just throwing this out here because I agree. I keep hyper focusing on your hat. Like I'm not even like looking at your eyes. I've been traumatized. Toxie, I love you. I love those fucking movies, man. I don't care what anybody says about trauma. I love those fucking movies. What's the one about the chicken? Chickenstein? Not Chickenstein.
Poultrygeist.
Poultrygeist, that's it. I love that fucking movie. It is just unnecessarily offensive as fuck, and I love every minute of it.
I used to have a magazine back 25 years ago, and I interviewed Lloyd Kaufman while he was on his way to the Playboy Mansion to film, I think it was Citizen Toxie.
Yeah.
Such a cool guy. We talked for maybe an hour and a half, and we were going to continue the conversation later, but he had to go to. But such a cool guy, man. And he sent me some stuff at the time, like promo stuff and just things for the magazine. And I bought a Trauma beanie, and he sent me some like promo stills of like Toxic Avengers standing there with like these chicks with in bikinis and stuff.
Yeah, Lloyd Kaufman's amazing. I love the fact that he will just like throw $25,000 at someone and just like do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Make whatever movie you want, and that's the movie we're going to show, no matter how bad it is, no matter how good it is. Because he's all about saturation. He doesn't give a fuck about the product individually. He has his favorite characters and whatnot, but and of course movies he likes more than others. But he's like, when people are sitting around worrying about how they're going to fund something, that's when creativity and imagination dies. You need to get this stuff moving. And, so I just give them $25,000 and say, go make me a movie. And that movie will 100% make $100,000. I'll get my money back, whatever. And I don't give a shit. He's one of the loosest producers on the face of the planet, no matter where you go, as far as complete freedom. He's gonna give you that money, and if you run out of money, you run out of money. It's almost like a parent, giving a child $25 and be like, all right, you can go to the store. You got to make sure you arrange for tax and all that stuff, because I'm not giving you anything more than $25.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they make it work. And on top of that, he's made so many movies that he has this wealth of props and all that other stuff that they can use, wardrobes and all that stuff. So you get a lot of stuff for free, just working with his company. I love him to death, and I'm glad that James Gunn came from that, because I think it's kept him humble even to this day. He's getting a little full of himself now that he's head of DC, co-head of DC movie side. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, he's still pretty down to earth. And that's because he came from, Troma. That's where all of his history is. How's the writing going? We've actually gotten a lot done for as much as we've been talking. So I've added some more.
Let's see what our word count is. I'm big on word count, and I obsess over it.
That's fine. Oh, that's Frankenstein back there. Oh, Uniboob statue you got back on behind you next to the dog mask.
What's that?
I was just talking about the Uniboob behind you, the statue.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was Frankenstein's monster's mask on it.
Yeah, it's got it's got two boobs, but the mannequin is a painting that I did a painting on the mannequin, and that is a moon
Gotcha.
On one of the breasts. I need to repaint it.
It looks flat.
Does it?
Yeah. I don't see the shape of the boob at all. I just see almost like someone cut it off. Huh. Chad is gonna grab it so I can see the boob, I guess. There it is. Okay, I see it. All right.
You see it now?
Yeah, I see it. I got to be able to see both boobs, Chad. I have to be able to see both boobs. Well done. I admire you both for being able to write on the spot like that. I just go black and be like, It definitely takes practice. And I'm sure there's been several times already. We just didn't know it, that Chad has been like, that he has been staring off into his muse's aura.
Have I ever shown you what I did to my ceiling fan?
No.
When we moved into this house, the ceiling fan was a children's ceiling fan with primary colors. Like one blade was yellow, blue, green, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. Let's see if I can. Oops.
Oh wow. Okay, that's fucking rad. And it even has the room key as the pull. Mother.
Yeah.
That's sick. I love that. I was awake till like 3 a.m. working on cleaning up the King Coke machine. I'll start working on another drink option tomorrow. Yeah, you're fine, Haley. Take your time, hon. Take your time. I'm not pressuring you whatsoever. It's just going to be cool to see when it's done. I agree. That fan is super cool, and I'm not even like a Kubrick Shining fan. Get it? Sorry. But I'm a fan of the fan. That's for sure. Anyways. I know you got lunch you got to eat at some point.
Yeah, I'm good. I've been dipping into it while I'm writing.
All right. Oh yeah, that's right. You had your see, that's how bad my short-term memory is. I'll remember you said that 4 days from now, but I won't remember. I'll probably I'm a fan of the fan. Yes. I'm a huge Kubrick fan. Fucking stupid. The English language, bro. The English language. All right. Well, if you want to continue on, I need to take a break.
Okay.
My butt's going me, and we're off tomorrow, so we can go longer today. I also got some videos to shoot for this week. But anyways, I'm gonna go take a break. I'll be back in a bit, and one of these days I'll buy Final Draft. You only have to buy it once, unlike fucking Word. So Word you have to pay a monthly subscription fee to.
Freaking
Final
hate
Draft
that.
hasn't done that yet. Anyways, I'll talk to y'all when I get back.
Hey! Be quiet.
Okay, I'm back. And Chad is black. Lord Jesus. Ooh. I have an idea. I'm just going to go ahead and write it and see what you think. Once again, not married. All right. I had to spell nozzle there for a second. I went completely blank. I was like Nossel, Nossel. Like, what the fuck? There it goes again. There we go.
Dude, what's Yardbird?
Yardbird is a chicken. That's a southern term for them.
Okay. So a bag of chicken. So Cassidy left a bag of chicken by the sink.
Well, chicken ramen. It's like chicken flavored, but he would call it Yardbird is what I was getting with that. That's why I put in the bit translation. the next line.
Oh, okay. Oh, I do. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that works. Now, if you cut this part, I might be mad. Sorry, it's a no. I repeat the word in a stream of muttered utterances, the single syllable bleeding into the next until I sound like a motorcycle idling. I like idling motorcycles. I'm also just kidding. I don't know if you're even going to accept this, the end of this chapter, but
Man, I got a lot to. Still got so much to read.
yeah, I'm sorry. Well, just catch up tomorrow, I guess. Oh, I missed Haley left. I missed that. Next chapter so far is already 2670.
What's that?
The next chapter is already 2670.
Okay. Wow.
Good luck, Alec. I hope you find someone for your pitched book.
Mona Awad. This was a fairy tale story. This
You're welcome, Alec.
Next up is a little version of my horror. This is sci-fi horror, and this book this felt like a Black Mirror episode. Next, I read the graphic novelization for Butler, which this came at a good time because I was doing next, I read This is Caliban by Rachel Nichols, and this follows a main character who is in a loveless, hopeless, mundane marriage.
Okay, I figure it's from the moment that the boys leave until they get home. I'm guessing is maybe a half hour.
Okay.
So, should we? Can you think of some kind of filler in there to where we can have the uncle? Because the uncle didn't leave until after they left,
Right.
and then we have him coming home, essentially just moments after Cassidy gets home. Can you think of something that we could toss?
I'm also seeing Cooter, since if you want to use what I was talking about with Shane walking by Cooter's house twice, like the first time he goes to the carnival, the second time Cooter obviously lives close, because he would be walking by that on his way to the carnival. So maybe Cooter just lives right around the corner, and I mean it wasn't that far, anyways. I don't know. That's a good one, but I don't know if it needs anything more. Like, at what point does it? I don't know.
Um, what if we maybe have these guys? What if we have them like what's his name? Shane tackles the dishes.
Uh-huh.
You know, gets something to eat, tackles the dishes, and then maybe they go. They could go fishing, or they could go do something that they do often, and then we can have this big chunk of dialogue that shows maybe even a little bit more about who they are and
Okay.
what's going on in the house, and not really an info dump, but just subtle things.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the meantime,
We just forgot Jimmy. Sorry, brother. Jimmy's asking for screen sharing.
oh, ooh, sorry about that, man.
Yeah, we can totally do that. I suggest if we're gonna do that, then we need to end the chapter. I don't know, how many words do we have in first chapter, because we're already on page 21. First chapters are always longer, but I don't want to go over 5,000 words for that first one.
I don't know. I don't. Unless you wanted to, let's see. I mean, unless you wanted to do something like, if you wanted to do shorter chapters where like ignoring what we have for the outline. I mean, we still have that outline. Just ignore the words chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. If we ended at chapter where it says,
Hey, Lazy.
Let's see.
I mean, shit, we could end the chapter. If you want to go for short ones, we can end the chapter with the window breaking, and then that'll end on a cliffhanger that'll push people into the second one. Because we have a bunch of good stopping places.
Yeah, we can do that. I was even before that, if like Cassidy comes to Cassidy just takes off. My cousin won't see me. He can't. He's too determined, and so am I. I'm the ninja now. Next chapter starts with nearest convenience store is 3 blocks away, or continue going.
Sorry, I had a thought. Call the second chapter with the actual, Cassidy and the convenience store. Call that ninja shit. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but I love coming up with chapter titles.
Um,
Yeah, I'm fine with breaking it up. Because that's an easy way. Also, like I said, if we have short chapters, they'll take anything. They'll take 65, anything around 65K. Whereas if we have longer ones, then 70K.
right.
So, yeah, I'm all for that. I don't see any problem with that at all. Because that would still make, if you want to stop the first chapter where you said with him running off,
Mm-hmm.
and then go into, yeah, I like that. Yeah, let's do that. Then at least just for right now.
Okay.
And then this is the best part about not numbering chapters. You don't have to update them over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and then end the next chapter with "I'm going to jail." I like that. I don't know how you feel about that, but I like that.
I don't know. I mean, I get it because it's a cliffhanger, but it's. I mean, we could. But the other one, you've read way more books than I have. I just do my chapters, not really based on anybody else's books, but I don't. Maybe I don't pay attention all that much to that kind of thing. Even though the first chapter ends where we are doing like we're still starting the next one. Like it's still very linear, but also it seems between the two sentences that a moment has passed at least. Whereas if we start a chapter after I'm going to jail, which is a great, ending for the chapter, it's still in the exact same moment. I drop out of the window and into a catcher.
Oh yeah, that people do that quite often. They're cliffhanger chapters that jump to much farther, and then there's ones that pick up. Like Dean Koontz does it all the time. He'll have a cliffhanger that then the next chapter picks up like a week later, and then he'll like travel back and fill in the blanks. But he'll also have ones that cut off at a cliffhanger and picks up the moment, the next moment in the next chapter. That's all James Patterson does, and most thriller writers do it like that. So, hey Derek, how you doing?
What if we kept the chapter going and then edit it at right there? Damn, maybe he is a ninja, and then we could cut off the rest of that, and then like everything underneath.
Okay.
Cut the next 4 lines off, and then start our the thing I was talking about, where they go out and they do the dishes, maybe. Gosh, I cannot. Cassidy starts helping. He helps them, and then they go do the thing that they'd like to do sometimes, where they're hanging out, and then we have this moment between the two. And in the meantime, as they're doing the dishes, Uncle Travis is like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'll be back later.
Okay.
And then they do the dishes, and then maybe they fishing feels cliche. I don't know. But so does like chucking rocks at junkyard cars, which is another thought I had. Okay, I got an idea. What if they have their own little personal, very small, like pet cemetery that's just like, this was this hamster here, this was a snake that we caught in the woods that we kept in a bucket for a week, and then here's this dog. It's like you know, an unofficial, you know, like everybody who has owned pets, usually, like we've got a spot, you know, in our house and stuff that's, I mean, it's not called a pet cemetery, but it's just like,
Yeah.
this is where our dogs are that we've had.
What if there was an old, like, rundown shack or a burned down trailer or whatever that they hang out in, and they have something like that, like out back of it or whatever, like almost like a clubhouse that they've come across, because we had a lot of that stuff when I was growing up, and I put it in several different things, like the Westerns and Bay's End was a real place. There's numerous things that we used to go to, old rundown buildings, dilapidated apartments, houses, all that stuff. Maybe there's something down the way a piece where they hang out, but I do like the idea of that thing, like the pet cemetery, the unofficial pet cemetery thing. I do like that, because then we can build up, you know, while they're hanging out there chatting or whatever, we can build up all of that with, like, not flashbacks, but memories of the things that they caught and did. I like the idea. I love the idea, but maybe it's not just a spot in the woods. Maybe there's something else there that they go to, that they're drawn to, just because kids like abandoned buildings.
Yeah, I love that idea. Let's do an abandoned building, whether it be, and let's not call it a cemetery. It's called a graveyard, just so that there's no pet cemetery thing.
Yes.
And it will be, it's not like a community graveyard. It's just that this is where the last 4 years since Shane's lived here, this is where they've gone to have their own little funerals, whether they found a bird that crashed into a window, what have you. It's just kind of like this, their little getaway where they kind of, you know, maybe it's a loft in a barn and they sit up their legs dingled over.
That sounds great. I like that barn idea.
They can look down at the little different sized stones where various, you know, everything from a well-loved dog to a bird that crashed into their window, whatever.
Yeah.
It shows that they have heart and that they care.
Yeah, I love everything about that. Yeah, let's do that. So that'll be after at the beginning of this next chapter, after Dan maybe he is in... Call the chapter Grave Matters.
Okay.
Grave Matters.
I like it.
What did I just do?
I don't know.
I didn't delete something, did I? Hang on.
If you had something all
I did was hit enter.
Highlighted, then maybe. Well, if you hit enter, all I saw was it moved down, but
okay. I don't think anything disappeared.
You can always hit what is it, Control V.
Yeah, let me do that. See where it takes me. Yeah, okay. It was just a space. It was okay. My cursor was sitting up here behind I'm going to jail. So So we don't want to do that one. We want to get down here to, damn, maybe he's a ninja. And then
that'll be Grave Matters.
Grave Matters. Hell yeah. I like that shit a lot.
And then we'll get rid of this.
I really like that bit about the shopping unseen invisible opponents.
I did too. But no, I put, dude, it's in here. Or did I just? Oh wait, did I just?
Yeah, that's part of the thing that you.
I did just take it out.
We could move it up if you want to keep it, but
let me. Let's. I got it copied to my.
That's fine.
Thing here.
Yeah, and then. Okay.
We'll put it right here. This is a better spot for it anyway. Right after he talks about the Bruce Lee thing.
Yeah. And then I'll move. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to call the dishwasher chapter. Anyways,
Grave Matters, right?
So you want that to naturally go from Grave Matters, or are they after the dishes are done? That's when they go to the thing. because the chores are done.
Yeah, they start to do dishes. Uncle Travis is like, I'm out. They finish the
Gotcha.
dishes. They're like, we're out or whatever, you know, and they take off. We probably don't announce because these parents don't care, so they're probably just in and out of the house all day without saying where they're going.
Right.
And then then they go to the barn.
Okay. All right.
And
I'm gonna add another chapter title down here. This sucks. I don't know how we're gonna fit this in. You might not even like it, but I wrote like another 3 pages of a scene where he's vacuuming and he finds one of his mother's earrings in the carpet, and then he rushes off to the room that he shares with Cassidy, and he finds that someone in the house has stolen his mother's jewelry box, which doesn't make any sense because it was all costume jewelry. And then there's a little bit of a I don't know. I don't know if you want to.
That's a great idea, dude, because then that's also a huge catalyst for you. Oh, you're going to take my mother's crap?
Exactly.
Guess what I'm doing with this cocaine?
Exactly. And I kind of fell in love with this part, but hang on. Let me get to it. It's after he finds that it's gone from his drawer. My chest is a ball of agony, my pulse crashing in my ears, sweat greases my forehead and rolls into my eyes, mixing with tears, burning, stoking the fire already raging inside me. Fuck y'all, and I hope every single one of you assholes die in a fire. Then Mom's voice in my head, telling me to calm down, assuring me it's not so bad, followed by visions of me standing beside her at a flea market as she picks through costume jewelry, one of my arms wrapped tightly around her thigh, refusing to budge an inch as she haggles with the guy behind the table, talking him down from $3 to $1, then finally to $2, and they're shaking hands and we're walking off, a smile on both of our faces because she has new baubles and I have her laughter echoing in my head, the good sounds.
Love it.
Thank you.
That'll work.
Yeah, I wanted more. I wanted to kind of give the feel of how important that stuff was because, you know, there's the only memories without saying how important it was kind of thing.
And I love that it's costume jewelry. It's not worth anything, but it is
Right.
to him.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I wanted to drive home. It's not about the jewelry. It's the principle of the matter that it was something important to him, is a good memory, so on and so forth. But I was hoping to at least keep that. I went on a fucking diatribe about this vacuum that Bethany basically stole. And I don't know if you're going to like it or not, but I just ran with it, dude. It's I have the chapter now called This Sucks. But it's him vacuuming with this vacuum. I like explaining for whatever reason when we're dealing with people who are tight on money. I love explaining how they get items, like how they get things that, you know, they shouldn't be able to afford and whatnot, because I did a lot of that when I was younger and when I became homeless. You know, every single item was acquired not necessarily in a nefarious way, but, you know, a way that you wouldn't expect. And that's the kind of experiences I like bringing into my work. Nothing's actually purchased. We do what we got to do.
All right.
I was also a rainbow vacuum salesman for 2 days. Only sold one, and I felt terrible about the one that I sold because I literally talked this old woman into it, and I knew she couldn't afford it, but I still talked her into it. And then I only made like $15 off the sale, and I was like, "Fuck that! No, I'm out of here."
We got one of those phone calls where it's like, you want to, you know, have one of your rooms, you know, vacuumed.
Yeah.
And I had never dealt with a vacuum salesman before. It was Rainbow guy, and he came in, and as promised, you know, did the room, shampooed the whole room, vacuumed, but did his spiel, and this was a 2-hour thing. And I realized partially the way through it that I now know what you're doing here. And he was good. We really wanted this thing, you know, because we have dogs and we don't want hair all over and stuff. And but it was something we couldn't afford. I'm like, you know, you want $1,300 for this, or whatever it was for this vacuum? I was like, dude, it's a vacuum.
It was $1,750 when I did it. $1,750.
we got another phone. So I told him, we'll, don't call us, we'll call you. But and I'm too nice of a guy to to have kicked him out or anything. So I let him do his thing. It was very kind. We uh, showed him lots of hospitality. And when he was done, finally, I let But the second time that we got one, I told my wife, I said, we got another one of these calls, and I made an appointment. And I said, when they get here, we're not sitting through this whole thing. It's not fair because we're not getting the vacuum. We knew we weren't going to. So as soon as I answered the door, I said, I said, hi, thanks for coming. I just want you to know, I've had one of these demonstrations before, and to be perfectly honest, you're here to clean this room, and I'm not buying this, so you might as well save your words. And the guy never said anything. He didn't, normally the salesman would still like kind of push you and that kind of thing. Nothing. Total silence. The whole time I could just almost hear him cussing me under his breath. He freaking worked so hard on that room, packed his crap, walked out the door.
The way I was trained, and this still, like, I don't even believe it. The way we were trained, it was just me, and I was placed with this other guy. The dude trained me to ask people to let us in, and then as soon as we got in, you would dump something on their carpet, and they get upset, of course. And it's like, that's what we're here for. Or the guy did to one person where he dumped a cup of coffee grounds between the lady's legs onto her. You couldn't do that to everybody because not everybody has carpet in their foyer. Mm-hmm. But he would have this stuff ready, and he would literally just throw it on the ground. It's like, now let me show you what this thing can do. And that's how you got in. Because most people are not going to be like, fuck off. They're going to be like, clean this shit up, Mm-hmm. And then he would start going into his spiel, and he would take as long as possible to get to the point, which was the fucking thing cost $1,750 when most people, just buy a $50 to $100 vacuum cleaner from fucking Target. But after all that, man, the way he treated customers, to get into their houses, I was like, I can't do this shit. I spent another one. I spent like 3 days at Buckmasters, which is literally just a magazine about hunting. I'm sure you might be familiar with, but I had to work on Thanksgiving, and I literally had to call people on Thanksgiving because so many people were home. That was my last day, was on Thanksgiving, because I called people and damn near most of them cussed me out. It's like, do you realize what day it is? That kind of thing. And I always felt like such a fraud because the script would start off, how are you doing today? So on and so, I'm so and so forth from Buckmasters, and how many deer you get lately? I still can't say it, but they had a very specific way, so you sounded as country as possible talking to them, and I am definitely not country. I even used Earl a couple times when I was doing it, when I was first building that voice. Mm-hmm. But I called up one lady, and the lady's like, you do know it's Thanksgiving, right? I only answered because I thought you might be someone saying they're late. I'm like, no, ma'am. And then if you get caught with the wife, is what they put on the paper, the script. He's like, is your husband around? I'd love to talk to him about it. And she's like, he's enjoying dinner with his family, and I suggest you go and do the same. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I didn't even get a chance to say have a good day or I'm sorry or anything like that. And it hit me like a brick. I'm like, I am the asshole here. Yeah. I am an asshole.
I had a telemarketing job that was that paid well, and I was really happy to have this job at the time because it paid more than I had gotten in a while. And
Buckmasters was great too for pay.
It was that kind of thing where it's just like, this job is not for me, and I got fired because I wasn't assertive. And I lasted 3 days, and I was in a room full of, a bunch of other people, and we're just all we're trying to sell tickets to a concert for the Gell group, which is like some firefighters group. And we're supposed to fill them with guilt about house fires and deaths and all this kind of stuff. And I was so shocked at, and these are all cold calls. I was so shocked at how many people had, oh, I just found out I just found out I had cancer. I can't afford to, or my husband just passed away, or my husband is sick, or they don't want you to take no for. And I would always be like, I am so sorry to hear that. I hope that, your day goes better, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I would talk to them a little bit longer with nothing to do about the ticket sales.
Right.
And they called me in the office and they're like, because they listen to you for your first,
Oh yeah,
while you're on probation. And I was, at the time, I was extremely bummed because I needed the money really bad. But after a while, in hindsight, I was proud that I got fired from that job because I wasn't an asshole, essentially. Ironically, the concert tickets that I was selling was for a band called the Grassroots, and the guitarist for the Grassroots, an old 60s band.
Mm-hmm.
The guitarist for the Grassroots is Creed from The Office.
Really?
Yeah. So it's Creed's fault.
It's Creed's fault. It's funny that I quit. I didn't quit at that moment, but I didn't have any more calls that day. And I went home. I came back the next day, and Eminem's album Encore had just come out at the time. So I stopped by Target, bought the album, and I'm listening to it in the car, and I'm enjoying it. But literally, that album is the whole reason why I didn't go back inside. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm enjoying this, and I want to finish it. That's what I was telling myself. It's like I subconsciously trying to talk myself into losing this job. And I'm sitting out there in the parking lot, and I'm listening to it, and it's obvious I got several songs left, and it's time for me to go in. I'm like, just one more song. I'm sitting there, and I'm not even thinking about how bad I felt the day before. I'm just like, one more song. And it wasn't until the album ended, and I was already 20 minutes late for work, I was like, I guess it doesn't matter if I go in or not at this point, so I might as well just go home. So I left, and they never called me or anything. I got a check in the mail like 3 weeks later. Yeah, that is some life-sucking ass work. Selling anything, and of course, like you said, they don't want you to accept no for an answer. And
there's a whole script. If they say they're sick or whatever, skip to page 3, read this.
Yep.
It's like, man, come on.
You're absolutely right. It's the same thing at Buckmaster's, and it was a fucking hunting magazine. It wasn't that serious, and all of the sales that I did get were from the wives who had husbands who hunted, and I don't want to say they were gullible, but they were so much easier to sell than the husbands, and that's why they wanted you to focus. If she seems like a loving, doting wife, there's a whole script part of there, and if not, it's like, can I talk to your husband? Deal. And I even called some people who were like, he's been dead for 3 years. I don't know why you guys keep calling. I'm like, we will take you off the list, knowing damn well that I didn't know how to take them off the list. I just end the call. Because like you said, they're all cold calls. You don't know what you're getting. You have no idea. You just go from one to the next, and they just kind of all blend in the background. There's no humanity in it, in the process whatsoever. It's just soul-sucking work.
Yeah, I remember that first Rainbow guy. He also, part of his tactic was to make us feel, my wife and I, feel like we lived in just a nasty house.
Yeah.
And so he would suck up part of the carpet, and then they'd put that black cloth, on there so that you could
Ours
see.
was white, but I know what you're talking. Yeah, how much is going through there?
Yeah. And he's like, look at this. Is this really how you live? Is this how you want to live? And I'm like,
oh boy, I've been like, you can get the fuck out right now. That's the worst possible thing you can do to me is like when I go shopping for like cars or big budget items, I dress in like sweatpants and a ratty t-shirt. Because if you're not going to treat me like a human being, I learned that from my mother. If you're not going to treat me like a human being, I've gone to places, $10,000 cash wanting to buy a vehicle right then and there. They didn't know that, but I've gone up to them and it not gone up there, but I've gone to a car lot and no one's approached me, or someone who, I do remember this one very specifically. That one time I went to a new car lot. I had the money, was looking for a certain thing, and the guy came up to me and asked me, told me where the used car lot was. It's like, we got some used cars that are cheaper back here in the back, and I'm like, no, that's good. I'm done. Later. And then I went like 3 places down and bought a brand new blue PT Cruiser. But that guy screwed himself out of a whole sale because he thought I was broke because I wasn't, in like a fucking suit or something. And I don't wear jewelry, so I have no other status symbols on me. It's just sweatpants or sweat shorts, I can't remember which, and a ratty ass t-shirt. But yeah. Hey, Solvents. I think I'm done. I need to get out of this chair. We've been here almost 4 hours.
Yeah, yes, we have been here for a very long time.
Yeah, this one's been more like the chatting instead of the writing. This is what I titled the episode, but I'll probably change it in the VOD. Did you want me to send you the videos so you can post on your own end?
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Okay.
Whoops.
It's super easy. I just add them to Dropbox or Google Docs or whatever, and then you can delete them every time once you download them. But whatever you want to do. I ain't talking you anything. Anywho, all right. So thank you guys. Is there anything you want to say before we go, Chad?
No.
I still need to tell you what author I was talking about after we sign off here. I got to remember that. I got a shitload done this morning. Time for lunch. Yeah, I'm about to go eat too. All right, Chad and chat. It was another great session. We got a lot of stuff in play that we can use to extend this and still keep it interesting. I love that we settled on shorter chapters with cliffhangers. I love that idea because we can still be literary and do that. We can still have the chunks of, whatever that we've been doing. All right. Thanks for joining us. We will see you guys on Monday. Yes, time to watch the VOD. We'll be back on Monday. I'm taking tomorrow off, but we are doing Sunday service. We're doing movie night instead of game night. So we're watching something on Tubi tomorrow. I haven't pulled anything out of the hat to figure out what we're watching, but we will be watching a movie. You guys can watch along at home. I'm not going to be streaming the movie. We'll just be hanging out, watching them on our own devices.
Are you watching good movies or bad movies?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna literally. I asked Discord for suggestions, and I threw them all into a hat, wrote them all down, and I'm gonna be picking something out. So I don't know if it's gonna be something terrible or something good. Okay. But you're more than welcome to come, of course.
Well, I just had the perfect selection if you were gonna do bad movies. But okay.
What you got? I'll throw that. I'll throw it in there.
It's a movie called L.A. as in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
L.A. AIDS Jabber. It's about.
AIDS Jabber?
Yes, it's a very, very low budget movie about a dude who finds out he has AIDS, gets really pissed off, and starts taking a sample of his own blood, going around and stabbing people.
That's what I thought. That's where I thought you were going. I'm gonna put it in the hat.
And it's worse than you think it is.
I really hope it is. Honestly, I if nothing else, I'm gonna watch it on my own because holy shit, just the name alone, that's amazing. Anyway,
the dialogue is the worst you've ever. The acting and the dialogue is just top notch, horrible.
Like worse than The Room and not Goblin. What is it? Was it Goblin 2? Anyways, or
yes,
Troll 2.
Yes,
Troll 2.
Yes, way worse than that.
Oh wow!
Shot on video.
No. Oh yes. All right. Yeah. I'm looking it up as soon as I get off here. So, what was the first one again? What was the name of it? I got AIDS Jabber. What came before that?
L.A.
L.A. Los Angeles. Okay, so L.A. I don't have anything to write on. L.A. AIDS Jabber and not Stabber.
Right.
L.A. Oh my god, dude. Jabber. It's fucking stupid. All right, looking it up after this. I could have just typed it into my search bar and went back to it, but all right. Oh, him disappeared. Yeah, Troll 2. I always want to call it Goblin 2 because of Neil Bog. So, like, is he gone? Did he just leave? Not possible. I didn't think it was possible to get worse than The Room and Troll 2. You're muted. Can't hear you.
Oh, that's why you can't hear me say, yeah, dude, I'm right here.
Okay. Oh my god. With the fly and everything on his face. Yeah, it's amazing. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. We will be back Monday, 9 a.m. to keep this going, and the VODs will continue to release basically every other day. Probably Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday is what the vlog. Can I steal it as a title? What thing? What? I don't know. Anyways, bye, y'all. Until next time, all hail the chair.